afternoon, everyone. Hope everybody's enjoying the World Dairy Expo. My name is Jeff Jones. I'm with the Kansas Department of Agriculture. I'm the Dairy Program Manager there. I'm very proud to be here to announce our nominee for the virtual tour here for the World Dairy Expo. So Kansas is one of the most progressive states as far as dairy production. We currently have 160,000 dairy cows. We're ranked 16th in the nation for dairy production and produce about 3.6 billion pounds of milk annually. Not only is Kansas one of the most progressive states, Kansas also, as far as dairy production, Kansas is also known for its quality seed stock producers such as Ratliff jerseys. Christy Ratliff was awarded the Young Jersey Breeder in 2008, and she was also chosen as Master Breeder in 2018. Unfortunately, Christy is under the weather today, but we're fortunate enough to have Dan Fredericks here to cover for her. Just a little bit of housekeeping items. If you have questions, we ask that you hold it to the end. And with that, I introduce Dan Fredericks. If you give him a warm welcome.
So good morning. I'm Dan Frederick. A poor excuse for Christy Ratliff, but like he said, she's under the weather. We're barn 2, aisle 8, and pretty much the whole aisle has got losses. Right now, Ratliff Jersey has Christy down, as well as one of the day guys, as well as our night guy is down at the moment. So if anybody is looking for a night job, we'd love to talk to you. Today, I'm happy to present my side of Christy's operation. We've got some slides to go over here, and like very informal. So I just we'll get started if we would. So Christy Ratliff is Ron and Christy are Ratliff jerseys. Ron is also an auctioneer, and they run Anderson County Sale Barn. They have weekly sales of livestock. They also do special sales for horses and chickens and beef cows and farm machinery. So they've got many other ventures as well as the Jersey herd. Jerseys are, of course, Christy's passion. She runs about a 45 cow herd, and she tries to specialize in genetics. Current lactation average on the herd is right at 19,000 pounds of milk. Their classification score is well over 90 points, right at 90 points, with presently 30 cows 90 plus. I believe there's 5 cows in the herd presently at 95 points at the present time. We start off with the Porsche family. This is a virtual tour, and we're talking about genetics and jerseys. I think many people who follow the show ring are familiar with a Porsche cow. She's that big, tall, non-typical Jersey that has had her championships and her non-championship opportunities. Just very important to Christy. The kind of cow she's looking for, maybe a little bigger than she's looking for, but she's that big, deep, open-ribbed, powerful animal with a high rear udder. So if anybody knows Ratliff Jersey, this is the kind of cows that she's looking for. A couple of offspring that we've had some success was Penny was a All-American at Louisville. Petunia was recently sold in a spring sale. This is Christy's kind of cows, and we hope they're your kind of cows also. Christy grew up on a registered Holstein and with sprinkling of Ayrshire cows in southeast Kansas. Her grandfather was a very important part of her upbringing and her desire to succeed and strive to be the very best. She tells the story many times about they would go to the fair at Kansas State Fair and showing the Holsteins, and she'd disappear. They couldn't find her. And they always usually, sooner or later, would go look in the Jersey side of the barn, and that's where Christy would be. She'd be down, look at the jerseys. That was her passion. Now, it took a long time for her to get her first jersey. I think she said she's about 12 when she got her first jersey, and she's been breeding and developing and acquiring jerseys ever since. Early on, she had cattle from her family farm that she had dispersed at different herds to be milked and taken care of. After she married Ron and got established, they did some different things, and she decided she really wanted to be the very best at breeding jerseys and exhibiting jerseys. One of her goals would be to have a national champion, and we'll talk about that a little later on. But Carmel was a cow that she bought from Avonlea out of Canada, and brought home and developed and showed and exhibited and has sold multiple offspring. I believe she's got well over 80 registered offspring from the Carmel family. A few of the cows that are shown here became household name. And so that was the Carmel family. That was one of her stars. The cows, some candids of Christy with the daughters of Carmel in the show ring. I think the well-known line there. A couple of the cows that we have in a present string right now today. Cadence on your left is a cow that we exhibited at the World Dairy Expo just recently. Vision is a cow she acquired from Arethusa at a sale many years ago. She was purchased with a group of cows from Wisconsin and developed. She was first in the 100,000-pound class here at the World Dairy Expo this year. And we are presently flushing and marketing animals out of these two cows at the farm. The Myra family is a cow family that she developed and worked with. And one of the highlights of the Myra family was the Martina cow, which won the Jersey Jug several years back. And then we are now presently using and selling semen out of a bull from Martina herself. It is available. We're using him in our own herd and as well as marketing semen. Martina on your left, Magnolia on the right. If anybody's following the Jersey Jug, I believe they're probably familiar with the Martina. She will always be one of those special cows to Christy because of the Jug Award. A few candids from different shows around the country. You'll notice the premier breeder. She takes great pride in her premier breeders. Because Christy's not here, I can tell my own story. So I was on the show crew the first year she won, one of the years she won premier breeder. First year I was helping, they presented her with a rocking chair. And our crew the responsibility was to figure out what do you do with a rocking chair in a cattle trailer to keep it safe and protected. And we figured it out because we were told by Christy that we were going to figure it out. We ended up putting it in a hay cart and packed stuff around it. After that, we hauled 2 more rocking chairs home successfully. And then the 4th year we showed up and she was premier breeder and they gave her a hope chest. We figured it out. It's a lot easier to pack a hope chest than it is a rocking chair. But if she wins them, we'll get them home. Again, some more candids. You'll notice here on the left lower, the Cassie Krill, a very important part of Christy's life. Looks at her as a daughter. Christy's always willing to take on a junior that wants to be involved, who has the same passion and desire to succeed with Jersey cows. If they don't have a desire to work and work hard, she's probably not going to spend a lot of time with them. But just more candids. The Lycia family is probably what Christy is most known for. Lycia is a cow that she bred and developed from a cow that she had partnered with early with Robert Yeoman. Lycia is Ratliff jerseys on the top and bottom side of the pedigree. Was first, she was grand at Louisville 3 years in a row, and she was also Supreme champion when they started that program at Louisville, the All-American. They started the Supremes, and she was Supreme 2 years in a row. Done a lot of marketing from Lycia. Again, she's had well over 80 offsprings registered through the Jersey Cattle Club Association. More candids of Lycia and her family. A lot of the cows still in the herd today trace back to Lycia. We're still marketing. I think we've probably freshened the last of the actual Lycia daughters themselves at the farm. She looks pretty happy. Agreed? If she was here, you would see that in her as well. She was pretty happy. More of the Lycia families. I've been happy to be a part of some of the development of these cows and been a part of them. Multiple ones are still here at the farm. Annabelle's still at the farm. Angel, Ashley. We have a heifer in the show string this year that is our milking yearling was Al the Angel cow up here, so she'd be a granddaughter. In her barn at home, that she built a pack barn a few years ago, and she put an office in there. The barn crew, the people that work at the farm, don't realize that what helped build that barn was Lycia, and part of the office area is a display of trophies and awards that's Lycia earned for her. And that's just a quick picture, just a reminder of what you can accomplish if you stick to it and strive. Okay. The DejaVu family is an own daughter of Veronica. early in her career. I think anybody in the jersey industry that does any showing is familiar with Veronica and what she's accomplished, and a lot of good Veronica dollars out there. And Christy was able to acquire one. She paid a lot more money than anybody thought anybody should pay for an open heifer. She gave $30,000 for it. I don't think there's any secret. She paid $30,000 for a young heifer, and the people back in Erie, Kansas, where she grew up, thought she had really gone off the deep end there. But if you follow the family, she has developed it. She's marketed from it. Besides Lycia, it's pretty hard to beat the love and affection that we have for the DejaVus at the family, at the farm. A few pictures, of course, the dam of DejaVu there, some of the family members there that came from it. Currently, we've worked with the Dream, the Dabble. Dabble is an action. Donner is here at the fair this year. Another daughter is that I have an opportunity to work with is I own half of a DejaVu daughter, and I'm very proud to say that I do. Depend on which half I own, depends on if she's dirty or need to be fed. I will take the clean side every time. Christy just tells me that it's all a team effort, so I'm happy to be a part of that. So I guess if I have any claim to be up here in front of you today, I do own at least half of the DejaVu daughter, so I guess that's my claim to fame. Normally I'm just the barn guy, so keep that in mind. Just action dabble here on the end at the Louisville, just a barn shot. We're very successful. Good uddered, big, deep, open rib, just a real strong family. We all do have genetics from that cow family for sale. She also has a bull that she's marketing semen from and that we're using at the farm ourselves. Okay. So Christy, first and foremost, is a competitor. And a few years ago, she had an opportunity to get involved in the Apple family, the red and white Holsteins. Of course, we keep a reminder, she's a Jersey breeder, right? Ratliff jerseys. If she can get a cow out and kick your little rear end, she'll take that opportunity every time. And she has been very successful. A couple of these are Apple Red clone offspring that she has campaigned. And the cow on your right has been successful up here at World Dairy Expo. She was fourth here in the Red and White Show last year. Took these two cows to the All-American or to Louisville last fall. Showed just two red and whites. Did well enough that we got to call up and we got to pick up a Premier Breeder banner for red and white Holsteins. Now, if you don't like getting beat, find better cows, right? Okay. Again, I mentioned that we just some of the current lineup of the cows that we're exhibiting. The Vision, our Arethusa cow, Donner, Cadence, Pearl, which goes back to Portia, and of course Fiesta, the red and white Holstein there. In her program, she's done a lot of in vitro to try to increase the number of offspring from her top cows. And so that while they also run a beef cow herd themselves, they also do something I think is somewhat unique in the fact that they use beef cows as recipients. And they will put embryos in the beef cows. And if you go to the next slide, once the cow is successful having the calf, then you've got this recip to figure out what to do with because you'd like to use her again. And in Christy's case, she'll take the Jersey heifer off and put it in a hutch and take care of it. And then we'll try to graft on either a Jersey bull or a beef calf on the cow. It kind of pays the bills and allows her a little more economics. So this is just a shot of a cow that had a beautiful, beautiful Vision daughter that's going to go in the hutches and hopefully end up in the show ring someday. And then we stuck a Jersey bull on her. She seems all right. She seems happy, and it helps her pay her way. I think that's kind of neat. So we'll get to the pack barn here in a little bit, but originally her dairy was based on a converted quarter horse breeding barn that she put in tie stalls and also box stalls. And when she put her new barn up, everybody kept asking her, what was she going to do with the old barn? Was she just going to tear it down and get rid of it? Well, no, she hasn't. She utilized that barn a lot. We can use this for special need cows, for calving barns, for observation. Cows that are in heat, we can move to this barn and take care of them separately from the other barn. We use the dickens out of this barn. Christy used the dickens out of the barn. Okay? Just had to throw this in. We Kansas State came out, took some pictures, and this is a hard one just to pass up. I mean, you got to have a pretty calf, a pretty Jersey calf, and while Christy wants to exhibit and perform and succeed, that's kind of what she fell in love with right there, that little Jersey heifer calf. That's kind of what got her into the breed. We do raise calves in hutches very successfully. For a 40-cow dairy herd, she can have as many as 35 calves in hutches because of the in vitros. So you got the natural-born calves, and then you've got those calves that came off the beef cows. So you're thinking, if you got a 40-cow herd, hey, how many calves could you have on the bottle? Well, with Christy, you can have a bunch. Very important part of the program to keep those healthy and keep them growing. Okay. And we're in southeast Kansas, or east central Kansas, which is about an hour's drive southwest of Kansas City, Kansas. We utilize grass for growing our heifers. So we've got a couple pictures of once we get them up and going, put them on grass for the summer. That's the money bowl, if anybody's wondering. Next to Sizzle there, that's the money bowl. That's a Martinez son that we're using and have collected. Just kind of a lineup of the bulls that she presently has that she's using herself and has collected and is for sale. We've got sons out of Lycia, which produces the Ansley cow. We have a son out of Boo Boo. Boo Boo was a cow that Christy required, I believe, as either a pick of a flush or as an embryo, and she developed and then marketed through one of her sales at the farm and has done very, very well since then. Fortunately, we do have a son out of her that was born at the farm that we've collected and we're using. Of course, we're always going to have a Porsche bull around as long as we can. DejaVu, we've got a couple of DejaVu son. And then an interesting on the one on the end is a little bit of a different look, and the maid cow is there. We're using a son out of him. It's if you're familiar with that cow family, very, very high butterfat test. She's a cow that comes through the barn, and you always notice her udder, and just really impressed when she comes through the barn, but then you kind of forget about her because she's having no problem, no muss, no fuss cow. But that's just what that is for. Okay. Simple double 4 herringbone is the dairy barn. It does have automatic takeoffs. For a 35, 40 cow herd, it's more than adequate. Just keep going. Just a couple pictures of Christy in the milk barn milking. She does have the stalls that are adjustable because, the variation. She does usually run a few Holsteins, so it gives us the opportunity to milk both the Porsches and the Holsteins of the world as well as the 2-year-old Jersey heifers. Just, again, another shot of some cows in the milk barn. Next picture is just a beautiful picture. We're trying to get this on the Jersey Journal. We like to submit this to the Jersey Journal, and when you need just a beautiful picture of cows X in the barn. What you can see about this is the big wide muzzles, the big rib. We like to call that the Kansas kind. And if you've ever been around Christy, when she's got cows, you're going to see her where we keep pushing the hay, pushing the hay, never without hay, because that's how you build a big rib, and that's what she's looking for. She peeled the pack barn about 3 years ago. It's sawdust pack. We till it twice a day. Every time the cows are taking the milk barn, we run a tiller through it. One side is divided into 2 groups, so you can run maybe 25 cows in one group and 11 cows in the other. 25 is the basic herd. The 11 could be either fresh cows or cows in transition, or sometimes you can use that as a 2-year-old group so they don't have to compete with the bigger cows. On the other side is 6 pens that can hold usually 3 cows in a group, and we can divide those up and feed those accordingly. So when people talk about getting the show ring started, it's the same old cliche. When do you start for next year's World Dairy Expo? Well, we're going to start that on Monday morning because we're getting home on Sunday. Christy will individually feed. Anytime she's getting ready, cattle ready, which is most of the time, we'll feed grain 3 times a day and a TMR once a day. And when she does that, she feeds them in the pan individually so she can tailor to the needs of each individual cow. Picture. The left-hand side is the big group. We're in southeast Kansas, very hot, very humid in the summertime. We got a lot of fans. We got a lot of misters trying to keep cows comfortable and performing well. She added the Legally robot a couple years ago. If I didn't introduce Ron, the husband, someone in the show crew thought it would be funny to identify the robot as Ron or Ronnie, because he always shows up and works really hard and always dependable. Allows us to keep the feed pushed up and fresh at all time. She does mix TMR twice a day, and this is kind of the view of the other side. You see she's feeding individual pans. She will have 3 in a group, and then she will tie them up and 3 times a day and feed them individually so she can address the needs of individual cows to get them ready. Every other year they'll host a sale at the farm, which will be a sale of 40 to 60 of the Ratliff bred animals that they've developed from the key families, as well as 40 to 60 animals from other breeders from across the country. We try to emphasize pedigrees, cow families, type, but then also bring in some numbers cows from other breeders. So try to get something for everybody. But that's something they really take great pride in. I believe that may be the Boo cow from a couple years ago. And this is just a thank you for coming and participating in. I apologize for Christy not being able to be here today. I think you would enjoyed hearing her much more than me, but I'll do the best I can and have done the best I can. When we get ready for the sale, we utilize again that tie stall barn to use those cows. We also use that for classification. So I believe that completes my part of the presentation, and I'd be more than happy to take any questions and do the best I can do to answer them. Do you want to, before questions, do you want to finish? Okay. Questions? Please? Pretty please? So how did I do? Okay, thank you. So I know my role. Christy is the passionate Jersey braider, and what I do is I tag along and try to keep her, just give her a few tools, allow her to do what she does and what she loves to do. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Dan, and for the Ratliff family. And if you would, please fill out the evaluation forms and drop them off in the back. We appreciate it. So thanks for coming.